All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Seattle Seahawks rookie defensive lineman Jared Ivey. Ivey went undrafted out of Ole Miss, but it's hard to understand why with tape like his. He is an awesome football player and a great find for the Seattle Seahawks, rushing the passer, defending the run. He does it all at a high level, and we'll show that in that cut up today. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback you might have, plus any other players you want us to break down. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's open up with a pass rush, and there's Ivey right there. He's lined up, and we'll call it a wide 3 technique on the outside shoulder of that guard right there. It's a passing situation. You can see just off the edge of your screen there, a wide defensive end. I think because it's a passing situation, Ivey and the defensive end have widened out a little bit more than they would if it was 1st and 10. So what the Raiders are going to do here, they're going to slide the protection to the offensive right, the left side of the screen. So the center's going to take that gap. Guard's going to take that gap, and tackle's going to take that gap, which means on the backside here, we've got Ivey one-on-one right here on the left guard for the Raiders. So in this situation, passing situation, when you're one-on-one, you've got a 3-way go as a defensive lineman. You can either go around, you can go through, or you go inside just like that. When you have a 3-way go, you've got to win. You've got to check the box, so to speak. Ivey does here and does it emphatically. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see Ivey threatens up the field outside. Swim move over the top, knocks down the running back, gets through, pressure in the quarterback's face. Great rep. This was towards the end of the preseason game, and at this point, for the Raiders and pretty much everyone on the field, you're playing your 3rd string. You're playing the young guys. Ivey being an undrafted free agent, right, he kind of falls under that bucket. But when you look at his performance and look at his tape, he looks like a 1st or 2nd rounder. That's his level of potential, and that's his level of production in terms of what he did on the field. And we'll get to everything he did in this set of cut-ups here today. But I tell you what, folks, you look at Jared Ivey, whether it's rushing the passer like this, defending the run, he does everything extremely well. Watch how he just plays this guard so perfectly. He threatens the outside shoulder. Guard goes to punch. He takes his left hand arm, Ivey does, hits the shoulder of the guard right there, knocks him aside, swim move by the right over the top, and gets through pressure on the quarterback. Clinic tape kind of stuff, showcases athleticism, size, length, everything you want in a pass rusher. Jared Ivey. All right, from the wide copy, get a really good look at it right here. Once you beat him inside, oh my goodness gracious, that's just too easy, right? This is what you would expect, again, if you have a starting defensive lineman against an undrafted rookie. That's what Ivey looks like. He looks like a starter. Threatens upfield, beats him with the swim move inside, pressure right in the quarterback's face. We always talk about when you get these 3-way go opportunities, you got to win it. And Ivey does here, and he does it and makes it look so easy. That's the part that's so crazy. He makes number 56, I believe that is for the Raiders, look like he doesn't belong in the National Football League. And maybe 56 doesn't. But this is what star players do. They make guys that are average or below average really look it on tape. Ivey's such a good playmaker. I don't know how he went undrafted, folks. What a great find by the Seattle Seahawks. All right, going to a run defense now. There's Jared Ivey right there on the left side of your screen. He's lined up in a really wide kind of 5 technique, really offset from that Raiders offensive tackle. So this is 1st and 10. This is the first of 3 plays in a row where Jared Ivey makes a play. He does it at defensive end. He does it all over the defensive line. This is a situation here where he just dominates at a high level. This first play here is just going to be an inside zone concept for the Raiders. We're going to get base there. We're going to get base there. We're going to try and get scoops here on the backside. Running back taking this path and just trying to find a hole wherever he can, either working off tackle, trying to cut it back inside, wherever he can find the hole. Again, let's watch Jared Ivey here at the point of attack. He does his job at a high level and then makes the play. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see the guard one-on-one on the defensive tackle, right tackle working out to Jared Ivey. We can see the center and the backside guard working on the scoop technique, cutoffs on the backside, running back taking that track just right there. Let's look at this tackle. Look at this contact here between him and Ivey. So right there, you can see the hole. You can see maybe about 4 feet, 5 feet right there. Watch what happens when Ivey contacts this offensive tackle. Shocks him back, bench presses him off, completely squeezes the hole, right? There's nowhere for the running back to go now, right? Again, hole there, hole gone. Great run defense. And you can see the entire time, Ivey right here, he's got his eye on the running back to make sure he doesn't bounce outside. Once he sees the running back duck it up inside, he comes off and is part of the tackle. Great run defense. All right, from the wide copy, get a really good look at it right here. You can see the contact right there. Watch whose head goes backwards. Watch who gives up ground. It's not Ivey. It's the tackle. Hole goes away. Really good run defense. And again, he uses his length so well. He's got his eye on the running back. If the running back tries to bounce it outside, he's right there to make the play. And then at the very end, he comes off and makes a tackle. It's like watching a 5-star prospect in high school go up against some guy who just finished his second Algebra 2 exam or something like that. It's just outclassing. That's what Jared Ivey brings as an undrafted free agent. Again, I don't know how he went undrafted, folks. He is scary good. What a find by Seattle. All right, that last play was 1st and 10. Now it's 2nd and 7, and there's Jared Ivey once again on the left side of your screen. This time he's going to be on the back side of a running play. They tried running at Ivey, didn't work. They're going to go the other way with another zone concept. So this tackle is going to work out here. Guard's going to work out here with a little help on this defensive tackle first, little zone double team. Center working on him. We're going to get tight scoop, working up to the next level. Tackle working to take over that defensive lineman. And this tight end right here, he's trying to cut off Jared Ivey, trying to seal him just like this. And running back's going to take that kind of track. But I tell you what, we saw a tackle get embarrassed by Ivey on the previous play. This tight end right here, brother, you don't got a chance. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see the tackle working out. We can see the zone double team right there. Look at this inside right here by this guard. That's a pretty good job pancake right there. Give credit where credit is due. Not great by number 70 right there. Ugh, that's an ugly rep. Let's look at Jared Ivey. One-on-one on this tight end. Tight end, no chance. Ivey makes a tackle. This tight end right here, you cannot let this happen. If he beats you across the face that easy through you and just carry you across the line of scrimmage, that's as embarrassing as it gets. We saw how embarrassing this is for the Seattle defensive tackle, number 70 right there. Same kind of embarrassment for this tight end, right? He is just holding on for dear life as Ivey is just running through him almost like he's not even there and then making the tackle. Again, on the previous play, he shocked the tackle back, constricted the hole, helped make the play. Once again here, he blows through the tight end, constricts the hole. Remember, the running back's looking to cut back somewhere. Ideally, in a perfect world, the running back would be cutting off this block right here, that pancake block. But because Ivey just dominates this tight end so much, the running back has to stay wide, and Ivey ends up making the tackle anyway. On 1st down, he made the play, and on 2nd down right here, he makes the play again. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Ivey right here. Watch him get into this tight end, just not give up any ground, push him into the running back, and then make the play. This play right here, this inside zone concept, is designed to cut basically between these two hashes, somewhere, wherever the running back can find a crease. But Ivey just takes it away. There's nowhere to go. Can't go up this hash. Tries to go up that hash. Ivey's there to make the tackle. Again, this was 2nd down. He made the play on 1st down, does it again, gets this defense to 3rd down. This is a guy, single, one person, one-man wrecking crew, taking over a game here. Great job by Ivey. All right, now it's 3rd down, and there's Jared Ivey right there. He's this time lined up, and I'm going to call it a wide 3 technique. Again, it's 3rd down, so they wind him out a little bit. Maybe you could call it a 4-eye on the inside eye of the tackle. Whether it's a 4-eye or wide 3, he basically has this gap right here. So the Raiders are going to run another zone concept. They tried it twice, didn't work. They're going to try it again just to see if they can make it work. Tackle this time is going to work out this direction. Guards looking to base reach here with little zone double team, getting up to the next level. Guards trying to help here to see if Ivey slants inside. Otherwise, he's working up to the linebacker. And we've got a backside cutoff opportunity for this tackle, trying to get on Jared Ivey and prevent him from making the play. Look, the Raiders are 0 for 2 trying to block Jared Ivey on this drive. Guess what? They end up being 0 for 3. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap, zone double team on the play side. We can see the guard working up to 44. We can see the tackle, right tackle working out to the edge. Let's look at Jared Ivey all the way over here on the right. Tackle tries to cut him off. Hey, he's in a decent spot right now, but look at that extension. Again, it's like he's a grown man playing him on boys. Gets face mask to face mask and then bench presses him off just like this. Feet, shoulders, head, parallel to line of scrimmage. Perfect technique. Plays off with ease. Makes a tackle. 4th down. We saw it on 1st down. Jared Ivey wins. We saw it on 2nd down. Jared Ivey wins. We now see it on 3rd down. Jared Ivey wins. And we're talking different players each time. On the first down, it was this tackle. On 3rd down, it was this tackle. On the previous play, it was the backside tight end. Jared Ivey dominates, guys. Again, undrafted free agent. Not a 1st rounder, not a 2nd rounder. Undrafted free agent for the Seattle Seahawks, making plays for this defense. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Ivey right here. This tackle tries to cut him off. He thinks he's got a chance right there, but watch this bench press from Jared Ivey. Bam, right there. Eyes on the running back, plays off with ease, makes a tackle. Again, grown man among boys. That's what it looks like. And look, these are preseason offensive linemen. I'm not going to deny that. But that means they were really good in college, right? These are potential NFL guys, and Ivey is treating them like they're nothing. Look at that extension. Look at that playing off the block. Again, it's like a grown man playing along little boys. It's like a senior in high school against the freshman. It almost doesn't look fair. Great extension, plays off, makes a tackle, 4th down. All right, a little bit earlier in the game now, there is right there Jared Ivey on the left side of your screen. So we're going to get a different tackle. We're going to get a 3rd, 4th round guy right here in Charles Grant. Good quality player for the Raiders. One-on-one base block. We're going to run a zone scheme right at him this direction. Zone double team right here, working up to the next level. Backside cutoffs right here, trying to get off to the next level just right here. But again, Ivey, it doesn't matter who's blocking him, guys. He just outright wins. He's better than everybody. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see the zone double team right there between the center and left guard. We can see the backside cutoffs attempt there, right? Not great by the right tackle. Obviously, that's not very good. Backside defensive tackle right here splits it, makes a play. But let's look at Ivey right here on the left side of your screen. One-on-one against Grant. Good player, right? A guy that, listen to Raiders fans, listen to Raiders coaches, they really like him. Jared Ivery makes a miss like he's nothing. Great swim move, part of the tackle. This is one of those things that really blows my mind. A lot of people, when they looked at Ivey coming out of school, getting ready for the NFL draft, they said his athletic score isn't very good, right? I think 2.0 relative athletic score, which isn't analytically. But his film, off the charts. His performance in college, off the charts. His size, strength, length, off the charts. He's just a great football player that fell out of his draft because he's got a bad 40 and a bad shuttle. And when you look at his film, you realize he don't need a good 40. He don't need a good shuttle. All he does is make plays like we see here. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Ivey right here. Watch him make this tackle miss with the swim move over the top. Perfect position to make the play right there, and he does. Now, look, you can make an argument from a do-your-job kind of standpoint that the swim move right here opens up a potential crease here for the running back if the backside defensive tackle is there. I can understand that's something to maybe coach up and correct going forward. But when you talk about just raw playmaking ability, this is awesome. Guy goes to block him, swim move over the top, gets him beat. He's right there to help make the tackle. And even in this case, even if this backside defensive tackle isn't there, this running back will then have to, because if he sees Ivey, hug up really close to his guard. In this case, the play side defensive tackle will make the play or the linebacker. So Ivey in this circumstance, I think when it's all said and done, he's either going to make the tackle, the backside defensive tackle was either going to make the play, or one of these front side guys were. This is what Jared Ivery brings. We're talking playmaking, we're talking disruptive ability, great addition. All right, going to another pass rush situation. There's Jared Ivery right there on the right side of your screen. So this is a situation where the Raiders, they're going to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. So Ivey, even though he gets through and gets pressure on the quarterback right there, the ball's already gone. But they're going to slide their protection. You currently see number 77. He's in the middle of his kick step right there. He's going to try and slide out for one of these blitzing edge rushers, and they're going to fan out the guard to pick up Jared Ivery. Jared Ivery, he doesn't care who's on him. He ends up splitting both these guys before it's all said and done and getting to the quarterback. Again, it's a quick throw, which saved number 12's bacon. But Ivey, once again, being a playmaker, no one can block this guy. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Again, you can see 77 working out. There's Jared Ivery. Look at this move right here, getting past number 72. 72's beat right there. 77 actually picks him up right there. Does a pretty good job. Hey, you stop Ivey, right? But you can see at the very end there, right there on the right side of your screen, look who's free. That's Jared Ivery. No one can block him, right? 72 was beat, was saved by the guy stunting around right there. He helps pick him up. Number 77, the right tackle, says, okay, I got to pick up Jared Ivery. He can't get it done either, guys. No one can block this guy. Get a great look from the wide copy right here. Watch him right there. Beat number 72. He runs into 77. Otherwise, he would have beat the right guard cleanly. 77 kind of has him, but then Ivey gets through by his own regard once again. You talk about an unblockable force. I haven't seen anyone in this preseason, but going back years, I'll say it like that, that is this unblockable. And I'm talking about first-round picks. I'm talking about top 10 kind of picks, right? Micah Parsons kind of guys, right? The Bosas. I haven't seen guys that are this unblockable in the preseason ever. Superstars. But I look at Jared Ivery, an undrafted free agent, and I get it. He's going up against, mid-round rookies, undrafted rookies. I understand there is that context, and it's important to acknowledge that. But no one can block him. Tackles, guards, tight ends, no one can stop this guy. All right, going back to the running game, there's Ivey right there on the right side of your screen. It's going to be a zone concept working to Ivey's side this direction from the running back. Tackle's going to work out to Jared Ivery. We're going to get a zone double team right here, working up to the next level, and then backside cutoffs right here on the backside. It's going to be a wider zone track, so the running back's going to take this track and either keep it wide or cut back if he sees an opportunity before. Ivey, once again, just makes an offensive lineman look silly. 77 works out to him. He jumps inside. He would have made the play, but 77 holds. Ivey, unfortunately, doesn't get the call. But once again, this dude is unblockable. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see the wide zone track by the offensive line. You can see the center right guard, little double team action, working up to the next level. Let's look at 77 on Ivey. Ivey, swim move over the top, right there, holding. Where's the flag? No flag. I don't know what you're looking at, referee. Let's look at this referee at the bottom of the screen there. I think you're kind of looking right at it, dude. What are you doing here? Again, people give a lot of crap on referees, and I'll say sometimes I don't think it's deserved. This is kind of deserved. You're looking at an egregious holding at the point of attack, run at the running back, no flag. Come on. But tell you what, from Jared Ivery's perspective, again, does his job. See how far he forces this running back to bubble? Remember, this running back, he's trying to get downhill now. He sees Ivey, he's got to widen out, bubble out, and then the cavalry arrives anyway for a very limited play. I think it was actually a little bit of a loss here for the Raiders, but no gain or short gain if it wasn't a loss. But again, Ivey, unblockable guy. No one can lay a hand on him. Great player. All right, from the wide copy, watch Ivey at the top of the screen. He just goes around him like it's nothing. See how it forces this running back to widen out and bubble, and then the cavalry arrives just like this. Again, I don't understand how he's unblockable, guys. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem possible that a player can be this unblockable for everybody, right? Sometimes you get a certain player who has a certain style and the offensive lineman has a certain style and it's just a mismatch and a certain offensive lineman can't block a guy. We see that happen all the time, right? Some offensive linemen, for example, struggle with smaller, faster edge rushers and they're really good against everybody else, right? We see those mismatches. But he does it with everybody. Doesn't matter if you're the starting tackle, number 60, number 77. It doesn't matter, or I say starting for this game, they're second stringers. It doesn't matter if it's the third stringers. It doesn't matter if it's the tight end. Jared Ivey wins every single time. All right, we talked a lot about Jared Ivery being unblockable, but I also want to talk about his technique because he actually is a very fundamentally sound player to boot on top of his physical skill set. There he is right there on the right side of your screen. Once again, it's going to be an inside zone concept working in this direction for the Raiders. This tackle is going to work to try and base reach Ivey. We're going to get his zone double team right here, working up to the next level, and backside cutoffs like we've seen this entire sequence. Ivey, once again, does a really good job, ends up being part of the tackle, but it's his technique, it's his fundamentals here that I really love. Let's check it out. There's a snap. We can see the wide zone concept right there for the Raiders. Again, working to the right side of your screen. Look at Ivey. Look at his stance. In this situation, if you're the defensive end, you're trying to set an edge to the defense. You want to force the running back to cut back to your help, or if he goes outside, he bubbles out. So what you want is you want to have your feet, hips, and head parallel to the line of scrimmage, set the edge, force this offensive tackle to turn his hips, and guess what? That's exactly what he does. See how parallel he is? Perfect situation. Running back has to bubble. Running back bubbles. He comes off, makes the play. Perfect fundamentals, perfect technique. He was an unblockable force. We've covered this entire sequence. His swim move is great. He's got a lot of power, a lot of length. But his technique, his fundamentals are good too. I mean, folks, that is absolutely perfect. Now you can make an argument the left tackle here doesn't do a good job, and I would agree with that. Not a good rep right here from the left tackle. And again, that's Charles Grant, a rookie right there, who I think has a really bright future. I like him as a player. He does some good things for the Raiders. But again, Ivey, he's just better, folks. Great technique, great fundamentals, finishes the play to boot. Incredible find for the Seahawks. All right, from the wide copy, you can see it at the top of your screen. Watch as he engages the tackle, and once again, helmet to helmet, bench presses him off right there, has the hips turns, play off the block, make the tackle. You talk about a special player. We talk about guys playing like this when they're first-round picks, top 10 kind of picks, maybe a second-round pick. Every once in a while, you'll find a third or fourth-round steal that does stuff like this, and you're like, wow, what a great get by that team. But for an undrafted free agent to do things like this is insane. This is unheard of. You talk about the steal of the year for the Seattle Seahawks throughout the entire National Football League. I think Jared Ivey has that kind of potential.